This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klouse. Let's get started.
How do three paladins of separate gods?
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends. I would give my life to see them through.
I could have, but I didn't. And every day has been beautiful since.
I think I'm surrounded by good things.
A cleric on a hunt for redemption.
I need it for my friends, family, these people that I love, who have always been the answers to my prayers.
Whatever the hell you are.
I don't know if deserving has anything to do with anything.
A storyteller.
And if you ever need me ever again, let me know.
And one I haven't figured out yet.
I think that would take me a while to find someone more knowledgeable than me.
All come together. And there's not a bit of fate in that?
I think you mispronounced friends.
Well, I will drink to that.
When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that his desolation has come near. Take these wings to Nyessa. Carry them home. This title sucks, so I'm not going to say it. That way I can change it later.
Just leave a pause so that way later on in post-edit you can fit the title in.
Yeah.
Obviously. Set in a whole different tone.
We'll fix it in post. Yeah. We see a dark room, lit only by sourceless light dancing on the stone walls, as if it reflected off water. A circle of grey-robed individuals stand in its center, a corpse between them. One of the grey-robes steps forward, hood up, clicking their staff upon the ground. They whisper and swirls of magic stream from the crystal atop the staff, forming runes, glyphs, and geometric shapes around the corpse. The corpse inhales, its neck cracking to face the hooded grey robe. Our vision begins to pan back, further to look over the shoulder of another grey robe at the doorway, watching the ritual. A knife runs across their throat, blood splattering across the wall as a hand covers the mouth and drags the body down and outside. Our vision shifts back to the corpse. Looking up to the grey robe, a man in dark leather sprints towards the ritual, sliding to the ground, ducking under staves and blast of light. They drag their blade across the hooded grey robe's knee, buckling them before grabbing the corpse in one hand, and in the other, a sphere of swirling blue smoke. The sphere slams into the chest of the corpse, blasting outward before being drawn to the surface, smoke covering the man and the body. The grey robes look around in confusion, blasting randomly where they saw the man last, as we see his smoke form dragging the body away from the ritual. Previously, the Bronze Scales have spent a year in Nyessa, studying, training, researching. They've learned much and have begun to put the pieces together, though much is unknown. They were researching the will when they came upon an assassin destroying the books and resources in Savara's scriptorium. The assassin struck, attacking with dimly glowing violet eyes and poisoned weapons, but she was struck down by the scales and the furious burning embers of Baal, burning half of her face off. Several tome-bearers in the scriptorium came, questioning the scales in a zone of truth. Satisfied, they took the body for further questioning, and the scales went about their business. We come back to the story here. You've all gathered once again in the holy city, preparing for your journey ahead. You're inside the tavern, you've gathered around, you've gathered your gear, preparing to move on to what the next step is. As you do so, an image forms. You see the image of Sage Yelana. She stands there in her grey robes, tan-skinned, blonde hair, bright blue eyes. She steps forward towards you. Well, hello again. I thought we would maybe contact you later at a later date, but things have changed. First off, have any of you heard of the Index? She looks to meet your gaze.
Have we, God?
Everyone turns to look at Amsen.
I look at Vesper when she says index, because that sounds like that tree, remember? Didn't the dude call the tree an index?
It's been a year, Ellory. Hang on. Let me think about it.
Well, I can explain in time. There was a man who came into the scriptorium and escaped with the body. They killed 2 sages and the Valtrix along the way. The man was tracked by the vanguard into the Viaduct sewers before they lost him. You've attempted scrying rituals, but he's begun to conceal himself from our vision. When we had the corpse, we tried to question her, a combination of zone of truth and mind reading. She attempted to deliberately lie or didn't answer, but we were able to push through, penetrating her mind. She was here, destroying evidence of some kind, hiding a location, but she was also searching for something. They found a book, a stone schematic of the ancient children. This arcanitech schematic describes the building of a device, a powerful, arcane focus known as the Index. Not much is known of this, as any research done upon it largely yields unproductive results, and is considered either impossible or theoretical. Her inner mind, though blurry, drew a connection between the Index and her symbol, that geometric shape, which we believe is a name, though we haven't quite found whose yet. The man, as I said, has escaped our vision and carries the schematic of the arcanitech with him. We're preparing to call for Vanguard aid in retrieving them, but we're inquiring to see if you've heard of this Index or the schematic, if you've had experience with it, and see if there's a connection. There?
Not that I remember. What did we ever figure out what they were looking for when we found the will the first time? They were just taking people to the other side, right?
Right. They said they needed bodies.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything about an index. The tree Ellory mentioned doesn't sound like the same thing you described.
What is this tree?
It was a remnant of the Vumeri. It cataloged, I believe, the knowledge, maybe spirits of the people. We did not get a chance to examine it very fully.
Well, it might be related, might not. We can search for it on our end. We are preparing to call for aid from the Vanguard, though you were able to take upon the assassin effectively. If I'm correct in assuming you are a mercenary company of some sort.
In a way.
If you are.
We've done mercenary work before. We'll leave it at that.
Well, if you're interested, we could discuss payment, a contract, for the return of the schematic.
Well, do you have anything from him? Did anyone get a wound in? Do you have blood, clothing? Do you know which way he went?
We know which way he went. We were able to track him for a time into the Viaduct. He was escaping into the sewers. It is a catacomb maze and labyrinth down there. It will be hard to find him. Since then, he has shielded himself from our scrying. But we know that's where he was last.
Could you give us a minute?
Of course. And she just kind of floats backwards.
Real talk real quick, though. Like, what is she doing? Can you do that?
I have no idea. I've never seen... It's like a message, looks like, but she's like, here.
It's like a upgrade on what you and Meli. Not that what you and Meli do is bad. I mean, it's really useful, but damn.
Right?
Anyway.
So, what do we think about this potential job? I'm kind of interested for our own sake.
Yeah, it'd mean we'd have to stay in Nymenet for a little bit longer, but I mean,
we've been here a year, so a little bit longer isn't going to be that big a deal.
I don't know, is everyone up for some dungeon delving?
In a sewer? Great. My favorite place of civilization is where you dispose of your excrement.
I want to make sure that when we do leave Nymenet, that we don't leave any bad people behind. Can't think of a synonym for bad people right now.
We want to make sure we have our loose ends tied before we leave.
And wasn't our next goal to go to Novikov and look into the will anyways? I mean, this could give us a head start. Something more substantial to look for when we're there.
We can find out what this schematic is that they apparently wanted.
Sounds like we're in agreement.
All right.
As you'll turn back to her, everyone give me a intelligent investigation check.
Not awesome. 8.
23.
2.
9.
Good job, us.
What'd you say, Amsen?
23.
Okay. And Ball?
13.
Okay. So you all turn back. She's standing there. Amsen, you're the only one that you squint for a moment and you realize prior, it looked like she just teleported here. She's physically there. You now realize this is an illusion. She's not actually there, though the illusion is incredibly complex. You can now, the visage for you now shifts to where she's slightly transparent, but otherwise looks the same as you all turn back to her. Well, shall we discuss details?
Sounds good.
All right. She gestures towards a corner to give you a little more privacy as she moves over and sits down in one of the chairs. Or actually, she moves over and just stands beside the table as you gather around. Well, our primary concern is to get back the Arcanitech schematic. It is very valuable. And we also worried what these entities may desire with it. For the return of the schematic, I can offer 5,000 gold pieces. In addition, there will be a bonus if you're able to find and bring back the bodies of the assassin, the man, and the woman. Though only 500 for the pair, 250 for each. If you have any additional findings or knowledge, and you bring it to me, we can negotiate the price from there.
You said that this man killed several people. What methods did he use?
Blade, primarily, though he also has methods of magic. When he came upon us, he was able to turn invisible and fight silently. How he penetrated our defenses, which have wards, we are working out. Primarily the blade, but with some magical ability.
Well, that's something we definitely want to prepare for.
And you mentioned that the female, her eyes glowed. Then she lived, yes?
Yes.
His did not. I am not sure the connection she made. Well, we're still researching why that might be, or what that means for her eyes, if it means anything at all. I'm afraid I don't have much more information than that. I can tell you the schematic of the Arcanitect is a stone tablet. It was crafted in ancient times before the ruination. It was crafted by the ancient children of gods, who are no longer. It is complex and uses a different magic than what works now, which is why it is seen as theoretical. It should not be able to be used, from our understanding, but if they're seeking it, perhaps there's more to this story. Go there, find the schematic, bring it back, bring the bodies back, or living if possible, And you'll be compensated. She then goes on to describe exactly where he ran, that he put the body into a bag of holding and able to carry her more easily, and that he skipped into this particular tunnel, and they tracked them in this particular direction down into the depths beneath the viaduct. You guys may have learned from your time in Nymenet, and she kind of reiterates that the viaduct is this mix between sewers and drainage tunnels and aqueduct, and it kind of plays a multitude of roles. So parts of it are gross and disgusting, and part of it is actually inhabitable, but it's generally, and it was crafted when Nymenet was first created by the gods, that is. But she tells you, kind of where he ran in. Do you have any more questions for me?
Do you know where we can find the map of this viaduct? You say it is like a maze.
Yes.
You don't want to get lost.
There are some maps. They have mapped out part of it, though not its entirety. I can send someone or send a rough map to you. Last we tracked him, he was beyond the mapped areas, but it will hopefully at least give you a direction.
Thank you.
And roughly how large is it? I have a spell that can find things within 1,000 feet, but...
the schematic?
I was actually thinking more of their necklace that I saw. Find out where they are.
So the necklace was small. It was... and you saw it...
Yeah, no, I mean, how big are the viaducts? If I cast locate object, how easy would it be for us to...
Oh, the viaduct runs all beneath Nymenet. It is miles in diameter.
Okay.
I will have someone... Yes.
On the... whatever map you're able to send over, can you mark the spot where he was last seen?
Yes, of course. We will send that. I will send such a map, and should you have questions, you are able to get in touch with me. Yes? Okay. Well, in case... No, I will send you the maps. And then she fades, dissipating into flecks of dust with shimmering arcanic lights that eventually fade to nothing, and she's gone, leaving you in the tavern.
Was she starting to say something that she cut off? Because that does not make me happy.
Yeah. Probably something about our deaths. Anyway, anyone have any preparations they need to make before we head down into some sewers? I do wish we had time to rest, but I will deal with what I have prepared today.
Yeah.
How are we going to keep track of where we've been in the sewers once we get past where the maps have been charted?
Ball of twine.
The can of paint. Mark the tunnels as we pass.
So we need to get some of that.
We need to be prepared to fight something that we cannot see.
Yeah. We've done that before, but most of the fighting for that was when we could see her.
I could probably buy like a sack of flour or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And I guess if we're bringing paint with us...
That too.
Then we can have colorful flour.
Throw the paint on first and then cover them with flour. Stick.
I think that's how you make paint gravy.
Ew.
Okay, so let's go get some paint.
Okay. You guys can get that easy enough. One bucket we'll say is, how much does paint cost? A gold? A gold. It's a gold. It's definitively a gold.
We're getting matte
I'll get
paint or shiny.
Oh my god, we'll get just black. No, maybe not black.
No, maybe egg white.
Is it outdoor grade though, or is this for like interior?
So cheap paint is a gold. If you want fancy colors made with fancy dyes, it's going to be 5
No,
gold.
I just want something that will stick on anything because it's going to be gross in places and bright because it's probably dark on the walls. So white, like
yellow, like bright yellow,
construction worker yellow, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will pay whatever you say to pay for 2 cans of that because if they're miles long, I want to be prepared.
Yes.
Okay, we'll say 8 gold for that.
Great.
For 2 of like brightly colored yellow paint. Sack of flour is like a silver piece.
Okay.
50-pound, 35, 40-pound bag of flour. Standard.
I think I'll hold on to the flour.
Oh boy, it's heavy.
Yeah, where it's like, you throw them on the ground and people step on them and take damage. It's like
caltrops.
Yeah. All ask shopping. Those.
Okay. Shopping episode, version 2.0.
Hey, we know what we want. This is like the quick
this is
run
actually
to
super
Target
easy,
before we go on a trip. It's like we're here, we get everything we need, and we leave.
So a bag of caltrops is 1 gold each for a bag of 20. So you basically throw the whole 20 out there. So
is it a lot to carry 10 of them?
No, they're like they're not huge. They're, I don't know, a few inches in diameter, 2 or 3 inches. They're not fun to walk on, but they're not gonna. Yeah,
maybe I'll just I'll get enough to give everyone 2. So 2 bags worth each, so 12 bags. So that's 12 gold. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll 12 gold, and then everyone can mark 2 of them in the inventory.
I put the information of caltrops in Roll20.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And while we're doing whatever this is, Amsen, there might have been a smaller bag of flour that's easier to carry than a big 50-pound. Like if you're not putting in the bag of folding.
Yeah, no. Like a more portable one.
Okay, yeah, you could get a smaller.
Question.
Smaller
Did we
sack.
take the bag of colding, or are we leaving it with Calvin?
I'm gonna say Calvin keeps it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can transfer, but it's his.
Yeah, I figured.
And a few moments later, flying in front of you, there is a piece of paper that kind of drifts to the floor. Picking it up and unfolding it, you see a schematic is drawn front and back on this piece of paper. Looks like a map. One side it details the entrances, and on the other side it details some of the depths. On the entrance side it details which entrance he went into last seen, and on the other side it details the depths cascading and branching from that entrance. And then the last location they found within.
And this happened last night?
Mm-hmm.
So 12 hours-ish at the most? Okay. Let's roll.
Okay.
DM, quick question. Is this the same day as the raid at the library, or is this a new day?
It's a new day. So you guys gather what you need and begin to head towards the viaduct, the entrance tunnels. You make your way there, and you may be expecting a smaller sewer entrance, but what you see is a large entrance. It's maybe 20 feet in diameter, this circular entranceway. There's a gate there, bars, but you're easily able to pass through. Even Ball is able to turn to the side and press through and enter into the viaduct. They're rounded tunnels. There's no flat part even on the bottom. As you enter into it, it is the same white stone, ancient construction crafted into the Columnus Plateau, which is the ascendant plateau that Nyessa lies upon. As you begin to enter into it and follow the map, you see mostly water from this exit. Not a whole lot of sewers. This one seems more of a drainage from the rivers and creeks that run around in the old growth around the city. But entering in after not too long, it's the light from behind you is no more. You're not able to see unless you have dark vision.
I'll cast light on my holy symbol.
Okay.
Let's
Hiding up
still
again.
mark the tunnels here, even though we have the map. We just may not have to mark quite as often in the known areas.
Quick housekeeping question. Is Meli with us?
I'm going to assume Meli's with you, yeah.
Okay.
So you'll every now and then leave a mark as you're entering in and continue to follow the entrance map into the tunnels. After not too long, you exit this main larger tunnel and enter into a system of subtunnels where you see canals that you cross bridges over and follow other circular tunnels that sometimes dip and go down, where it leads to further and more canals, where you sometimes cross bridges or enter into other tunnels, and you're following it, and eventually, after not too long, you come to where the map ends, where the last known location. After a couple hours, it took you maybe an hour to get to the entrance and maybe 2 or 3 hours of travel for you to get to this point where this is the last known location of the individual. You're currently in a circular tunnel. You've exited a canal behind you, and ahead you're not sure what lies.
Well, once we get here, I cast Mage Armor. And don't get a surge, which is good.
Can I take a look around, see if I can find any sign of him?
Yeah. Are you looking for, like, prints and stuff?
Yeah. Any sign that something passed through?
Sure, that'll be a survival check.
Yes, sir.
Can I assist?
Do you have survival?
I do.
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
a scout now.
Absolutely.
Do you want to roll on your own?
Yeah, you can roll separately or aid.
Sure.
I think you're better at it than me now.
I think I am. That's a dirty 20.
21. Not quite yet.
Not quite.
So you guys search around looking, and you do notice these tunnels are not traveled very often. Both of you notice there are footprints of small creatures, probably rats. It looks like there are some slithering signs where there might be some sort of either lizard or snake-like creatures. You do notice there are some footprints that continue in this direction of this tunnel. With those checks, you notice other footprints as well. You notice there are other creature footprints, clawed 4 fingers, but they're larger. They're maybe the size of a dog's. You also notice some other footprints that are maybe humanoid in size, but the shape of the foot is not a boot, nor is it a barefoot. It's something different. You can see marks in the grind that's built up on the tunnel where there are claws of some sort on these feet. And then you do notice some humanoid tracks that appear to be in shoes. So you notice a variety of tracks in this vicinity.
How wide is are the tunnels here? Like, I'm assuming we're still in quarters, or?
So now the tunnels at this point are smaller than they were before, but they're still maybe 15 feet in diameter.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of things down here.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see where I think the only humanoid went, so we follow those. Just maybe we all keep a little aware.
As you guys are moving forward, you see a few more of those tracks as you're following them. The tunnel curves to the left, and then it curves down at a decline. It's fairly steep, where you kind of have to slow down to keep yourself from sliding down the moss-covered and wet and moldy tunnel. But it's easy enough as long as you go a little slow. Moving down, and as you begin to do that, everyone give me perception checks.
And as we move down, I'm going to don my shield.
Okay.
Just in case.
Ooh, that's so good.
Not good. 11.
19.
21.
Natural
No.
1.
22.
Paul looks at Vesper as she's donning his shield, and he's just like, great job. Totally distracted.
And as you guys are moving down this tunnel, I think Ellory and Vesper, you hear something or a number of somethings moving around the corner at the base of this next, what looks like a room of some sort. It's hard to tell from here. You can also hear, all of you can hear the rush of water. It seems you're entering in another one of the canal sections.
There's something up ahead.
Yeah, I heard it too. Some kind of animal, I think.
Hopefully.
More than one, I think.
Insectoid. Just gross sound.
Well, are we charging in, or are we trying to scout? What's the play?
I can try to get an eye up ahead.
Well, we'll warn we have been traveling with light, and Ball and I are not subtle, so they may already be aware.
That's fair.
Let's just take that corner and be ready.
Ooh, I got an idea. Can I use minor illusion to 30 feet up ahead create the image of like a small creature crawling around in front of us as we head forward down the tunnel?
Yeah. What kind of creature?
I think maybe like a maybe small to medium sized dog kind of thing.
Yeah, so you create this visage of this small to medium sized dog kind of standing at the base looking around. You hear And as you can see from your vantage point, you can just barely see down the tunnel, but the angle doesn't give you much visual. You can basically just see the base of this next room. And the dog is sitting there and it looks up and you hear running. And then you see this massive creature, furred. There's parts of it that's wet and soaked with grime, and parts of the fur has been ripped out. As you see this dog size, bigger than the dog you created, rat that runs up and pounces on the thing, and it goes right through it and is just trying to claw and strike and chomp at this visage before it slowly backs away into the corner away from it.
I mean, I don't mind charging in and putting them on me.
No, that's okay. I can go first. I'm bigger.
Well, I would be bigger.
With Calvin not here, it's better if I do this.
Of course.
And then Ball will cast Shield of Faith on himself, and then just kind of nod at the party and...
Can I cast Bless real quick before he goes forward?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to cast it on Ball, Ezekiel, and probably myself.
Okay, so Ball, you move forward, blessed with the light of Vesper and your Shield of Faith as you strode down this incline and into the next room.
And maybe right before I do, like once I've kind of gotten the acknowledgement of the party, I will kind of flip the Oni mask on my head and then kind of turn the corner.
Okay. And let's get a marching order. Who is behind Ball?
Could you describe the configuration of the tunnel again?
So you're in a tunnel that's at a decline that leads into the next room, which you can't see much of from your angle.
There's no corner to turn there, just going straight down into it?
Yeah, you can only really see there's a room at the bottom, but you can't really see much more than that.
Okay. So I'm going to be off on the side of the tunnel. I don't think I want to go second, but I want to go...
I would like to go second.
Okay.
I'll be kind of near Ezekiel, second or third.
And then you, and then Meli's going to be in the back, and we'll do this. How about that?
Basically, I'm trying to get to a point where I can see into the room a little more easily.
Okay. You, with Ball going first, it's going to be hard to do, but you will be able to eventually. With that, everyone go ahead and give me initiative rolls.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It's been a while. It is time for some initiative.
I should have light on me as well.
Oh, yeah, good go.
And then, Ball gets dark vision with the mask on.
Thank you.
Yep, that's about par for the course. 5.
So as you guys begin to descend, Ball, you kind of see it first. You see a canal room, and you've seen canal rooms like this before leading up to this. It is a section of basically a long rectangle. In the center is a creek of water that runs through. There's a bridge at some point that leads to the other side, and there's other hallways and tunnels that lead off and away from it. So let me get the initiative order. Just the first Ball. Amsen, I think you have the higher decks.
Yeah, boy.
Vesper 19, Ezekiel 5, classic Ezekiel. All right. So we'll do Ball first, so Vesper, you are actually on deck first as Ball begins to set forward into this tunnel. As you guys enter down and go down to the base of the tunnel where you can see into the room, you see a dog-sized rat with matted fur and patches missing. And you hear this running, and it's not from him, as you see piles move. It looks like refuse or ruinish or piles of stone and wreckage. But you see them moving and outcrawling. You see swarms of rats that begin to crawl in your direction. And Vesper, you're up first. As you see close to you is one. And you hear more beyond.
Well, for my bonus action, I'm going to pull up that veil that I have. I think I've kind of where it usually is a scarf, and pull that up and get dark vision up to 60 feet additional. And then for my action, I will... I don't want to use a big spell yet, so I think I'm just going to guiding bolt or try to guiding bolt around Ball and get that rat. if I can.
Okay. It's going to have a pretty severe cover bonus between Ball and the corner, but you can try.
I will try. No, not with a 12.
That just hits.
Oh, shit, okay. So that is 46.
I'm sorry, and it's because you said it, and that hits with the cover bonus? Because it was like...
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. I was like,
that does not
sure
hit.
about that?
No,
okay.
no, it does not.
Okay. That's why I was like, oh, shit, all right.
Thank you. Was that a guiding bolt?
That was a guiding bolt.
Okay, so you mark off a spell slot as you try to weave it through, but trying to avoid Ball, you slam into the water behind that ripples with light. Anything else for you, Vesper?
That will do me.
Okay. That will then bring us over here. Hearing Emil, you hear another rat running forth, jumps into the water, and begins swimming across. It doesn't quite get to the other side. That will bring us up to here. And that will bring us up to Ellory.
So I can see a couple of targets, but with Ball and Vesper in front of me, I'm not sure I can actually hit anything right now.
From where you are, they essentially have total cover.
I think you could wait. Just move yourself on initiative order.
I was going to ask if I could move myself on initiative, because I want to be able to move too.
Where do you want to go?
After Ball.
Okay. That brings us up to Amsen.
Okay. Sure, why not? I'll, just in case, I'll cast Beacon of Hope on everybody.
Sure.
And then, I can't really do anything else, so that'll be my turn.
Alright, that brings us up to Ball.
I'm going to defer my turn and go after Ball.
You're up.
I'm going to go forward. 1, 2, 3. And then kind of look behind my shoulder and say, there's a lot more where that came from. And as I say that, I'm going to, with my glaive... Well, first I'm going to actually use Mantle of Flame.
Okay. Bursting into light.
Bonus action. And then with my action, I'm going to use Phoenix Blade to stab at this rat mouse thing. This mutant.
You can see it in the water, and it's beginning to crawl out of the canal. This kind of gently moving water and trying to claw out to bite at you.
All right, so that's the one I'm going to go for. And it's a natural 1 plus a... So that's a 10 with my natural 1.
That misses actually. As you swing down, it's so low, it's hard for you to stoop down that far. You slam down onto the side. As it falls back into the water, immediately leaps back up and it begins crawling again.
Then Ball just kind of takes a defensive pose, and that's the end of his turn.
Okay, and that brings us up to Ellory now.
Okay, now that I can see a little bit better, I'm going to move up past Vesper. And from here, I'm going to cast Scorching Ray with one beam towards the big rat that I can see towards my right, one towards the one that's next to Ball.
Note the one next to Ball you can barely see because he's in the canal partially, so his head sticking out, so you could hit him, but he will have. I guess it doesn't matter for you. Never mind.
So one towards that one, and I don't think I can get the one that's in the whatever's in the water, but I see something kind of across on the other side.
Yeah, you see a swarm of rats forming from out of refuse and holes. So you can go to make your attacks as you form these flames, slinging them in 3 different directions.
That's a natural 1 for the first one, to the one on my right.
Sling it towards it, ducks under, scrambling, rushing towards you.
26 towards the one next to Ball.
That would hit.
9 towards the swarm of rats on the other side. So I guess only one of those hits.
And just one. Got no damage. So you sling these.
You're blessed. Are you also blessed?
No,
I'm not.
She's not blessed.
Oh, okay. But it does help with attack rolls?
Oh, motherfucker. I should have been able to add a d4 to mine.
Several turns
Shit.
later.
Yep, it's too late now, but...
So that's 10 damage to the big rat next to Ball, And I think I get a surge because of that natural one.
Yeah, you do.
88.
Oh my god, is it another flump? Or, no, the little flump was the other one.
Modron.
I hope to God it's the Modron. That poor thing.
Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Roll a 1d14 in the chat for me.
1d14. Okay.
Yeah.
What, you don't have that dice ready?
I need you to craft a d14. Okay.
4.
2, 3, 4. Vesper, you suddenly begin to lift into the air and begin to float and are now flying.
Oh, no. Okay.
As the flames that burst from Ellory's hands start to rush towards the rat and then immediately flare in opposite directions, shimmer, and then come back slamming into you, at which point you begin to float. So you're now can fly 60 feet per turn.
And I'm going to move back behind Vesper.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Ezekiel.
Okay. I want to move 2 squares north of Ball if I'm not... Oh, I'm there. Yay. It worked. Okay. I'm going to go there and then use my bonus action to become a giant constrictor snake.
Okay. Is that a large size? Huge?
That is huge.
Oh,
so I need
boy.
those 9 squares around me.
As you turn into this massive snake, what do you look like? What do your scales look like or anything like that?
I think there is a bit of like he's a brown snake, maybe a little bit of black markings on him. He's got a bit of a cobra head because on that there are the brown wings on the back of his little like cobra head thing, even though he's not poisonous right now. And he is gonna look at that rat that's right in front of Ball, and I'm gonna try and constrict him.
Oh boy, go for it. Ezekiel turns into this massive constrictor snake.
9 plus a d4 plus 13.
That's enough.
Great. So he takes, if I click this 13 bludgeoning damage and is grappled and restrained.
You wrap your form around this creature, squeezing. You can hear bones snapping and squeezing as this thing is whimpering and trying to escape, but cannot. Anything else for you, Ezekiel?
No, that'll do it.
Okay. That'll bring us up to this rat. Rushes towards now the flying Vesper.
As soon as it moves, I'm going to take attack of opportunity. Since I have reach.
Go for it.
So just a regular hit. I can do anything fancy. 9 plus 10.
That will miss as you turn quickly and slam it down the glaive, slamming into the stone, but the rat skirts underneath, quickly rushing towards Vesper. And that is a 21 to hit.
God, yeah.
Oh, pretty well. You take 7 piercing damage as it bites its massive rat teeth into your flesh, into your leg, gnawing and pulling you back down towards the ground. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, all right. 16.
Okay. You see as the rat pulls away, its mouth is filled with grime and a strange foam that drips from it. The smell is horrid, as if it's rotting from the inside. But you're okay for now. That'll bring us up to Meli. You can't shoot her one cantrip from here. So is going to prepare the cantrip. So she forms that ice in her hand, ready to fire as soon as she gets a straight line. And that will bring us up to, also this guy. And the swarm of rats is beginning to push and run towards Ball. That'll bring us up to these guys. This swarm is going to begin crawling all over you, Ezekiel. The swarm of rats biting into your flesh. And I need you to give me a strength or dex saving throw as these rats crawl all over you and begin to bite into you.
11.
Okay. So you
no, D4. Almost get it. 14.
Okay. So you would take 21. You now take 10 piercing damage as these rats are just running all over you, biting into your flesh. And this rat is going to run up as well. And he's going to try to bite you as you see another giant rat. And that is a 16 to hit.
Yes.
So it deals 6 piercing damage and make a Constitution saving throw as it bites its large, rotting mouth to your flesh, ripping away a few scales.
Sorry, my con save is wrong on here, so 10.
Okay. As it bites in and pulls out, you can feel that rot transfer into that wound that it leaves as it begins to crawl on top of you and bite you once again. It brings us up to Vesper, though, instead. You're floating just a few inches above the ground and are able to now fly, but though there is a giant sewer rat right in front of you.
I'm going to draw my rapier, and I'm going to stab it.
Okay.
Hopefully. Not bad. I'm going to add my d4 to it anyways. So that is an 18.
That'll hit.
Great. And it is... fuck. Nobody else is engaged with me. Okay. I'm going to sneak attack. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. 10 piercing damage.
Striking the rapier down as it's leaping up, trying to pull you down. You strike through its upper shoulder, pulling back as the blood begins to pool and spill out of the sewer rat.
And then I'm going to bonus action disengage. And I'm going to go... what else? Part of 5, 10, 15. You said I could fly 60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go 5 up, and then 5, 10, 15, 20. No, I'll hang out here for the boys.
Okay, it's going to take an attack of opportunity against you.
I had bonus action disengage.
Oh, that's right. So it snaps at you, but you're too quick flying up, quickly adapting to the flying speed, flying over next to the boys. And that will bring
concentration for blessed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a 12.
Okay. The wound hurts, but it doesn't fester as you push on. And this rat that's trying to get out of the canal is going to try to, actually it's grappled and restrained. It's just going to try to escape. So it's just going to make an athletics check. That's a 13 to escape.
16.
Okay, so it struggles against you, but your massive coil has wrapped it up tight and it cannot escape. Its swarm is going to rush up and begin crawling all over the flaming ball because they're idiots. Ball, make a strength or sex save.
I'll do the sex save.
As these rats begin crawling all over
plus
your
1d4.
flaming form.
That's 17.
Okay, so you take half instead. So you take 11 points of piercing damage instead of 22. As these rats are crawling all over you and biting you. And do they take damage?
Yeah, they do take damage, except normally it's if it hits me or if it touches me. Now, if it's kind of like...
touching you.
Yeah, so I don't know how that works for... If it's just like every round or something like that. Anyway, it's 3 fire damage.
Okay. So a few of the rats fall off, burnt to crisp, and you can see the swarm is starting to move off of you from the heat. It brings up to Amsen.
Okay. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Expeditious Retreat on myself. And then as an action, I'm going to cast Firebolt on the rat 10 feet in front of me.
Yeah,
that's 25 for, oh my gosh, 20 damage.
You blast it and it's knocked back off of its feet, but it slowly is beginning to get up. You can see half of its form is burnt. The fur is gone now. You can smell the horrid stench of burning hair in the air. Just trying to get up. Anything else for you, Amsen?
No, I will stay there for now.
Okay. Ball, you have a swarm on top of you, a swarm behind you, and then that rat coiled up in Ezekiel's grasp. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try to attack the one that is still in the water.
Okay.
The one that is currently restrained, constricted.
And that's advantage, and if you hit a crit.
No,
right?
Just
Not
advantage.
A crit, just advantage.
So with advantage, this is going to be Phoenix Blade. So 22, I imagine, hits.
Definitely.
For 11 slashing plus 8 fire damage.
Okay.
And then... Sorry, go ahead.
Were you doing something else?
And then it would do 9 fire damage to the rat thing that is on top of me right now.
Okay. So as you swing the glaive towards this rat, Ezekiel almost lifts it up with his tail towards you, presenting its neck, and you a clean cut as you decapitate the rat as its head falls into the canal, slowly drifting away, and the body goes limp in Ezekiel, your grasp. So that one is dead, and then the swarm takes how much damage that's on top of you?
9 fire damage.
9. As a few more burn falling off from your form. And are you going to stay there, Ball?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay here. I'll burn 2 sorcery points to attack again on the rat that's on top of me.
Okay.
So same thing. This one's not with advantage. Another natural 1.
You swing wildly at these rats, but it's really hard to attack something that's on your own body. You knock one of them off, but there's still a swarm all over you.
All right, glad I did that, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. And I forgot about these for some reason, which is weird because they're not named Vesper, but here we are. So this swarm is going to rush and begin to crawl over Ezekiel as this rat is going to swim across, rushing towards you. But aren't able to do anything yet. That'll bring us up to Ellory. As you see this rat slowly getting up from Amsen's fireball, still burning hair on its flesh. It's looking pretty bad.
So before I decide what spell I'm going to use here, can I see the swarm behind it well enough to hit?
It's too small. You know it's there, but you don't have, it has greater than 75% cover.
Okay. So then I am just going to go ahead and send another firebolt at it then.
At the sewer rat in front of you?
At the rat in front of me that I
Yeah. See, it's getting up.
18 to hit.
As it looks towards you. Just recovering from Amsen's fire as yours slams into him.
Dealing 10 fire damage.
Slams into its face. Knocked back a few feet, dead.
Cool. And I high-five Amsen as my bonus action.
Nice. And that will bring us up to Ezekiel, unless you're going to move. Ezekiel, you have 2 swarms now beginning to crawl all over you. You have a limp rat body decapitated in your hand, and there's another rat that's beginning to crawl up towards you at the edge of the canal.
All right. I'm going to drop the rat body. Does that look like clean water?
It looks pretty clean.
I will try and put him on not in the water. And okay. I will, I guess, try and use my constrict attack on one of the swarms. I'll just, grind it against my own body and hope I smush a bunch of them.
Okay, yeah.
I can't imagine... I imagine they are immune to restrained and grappled, but that's a natural 20.
Hey. So deal the damage.
That is 31 damage.
What?
I roll.
That's insane.
It's 2d8 plus 4, so that's 4d8.
Oh, it's a critical.
And it's a crit. And I'm also going to drop a level 1 smite. So crits, or maybe not. I'm going to do it. I will expend the resource because I want to make sure this fucking swarm is gone.
Okay.
It's just a level 1, but come on. Let's roll 4d8. Another 17 radiant, just to make sure that one's gone.
So you sling the decapitated rat body away from the water as best you can. And these swarms, instead of trying to go for one, you, like you said, grind your body against itself. You can hear the popping of rats, and you can feel the viscera of each one dripping down as you grind an entire one down. There's a few rats that are crawling over on your face, and as they do so, radiant energy burns off the last few of them. That swarm is dead. There's one swarm still on you and 2 sewer rats going for you.
Okay, well, that's my turn.
And that will bring us up to Red Rat, which is dead. But the Red Rat swarm is going to get onto Ball. Actually, they don't like to eat, so they're going to continue on their merry way.
I'll take my attack of opportunity on it.
Go for it.
Since it's within 5 feet, I can, when it was moving away, then I'm going to do the Phoenix Blade attack.
Okay.
19
hits
for 8 slashing plus 7 fire damage.
Okay. As these things running, you slice, and a pile of them are destroyed, scattered, and burnt. But the rest of them continue on to Ellory. And they begin to crawl all over you, Ellory. I need you to make a dex or strength saving throw as they begin to crawl up and on you, biting on you as you're quickly trying to knock them off.
That is absolutely going to be Dex. That's not great. That's an 8.
Okay, so you take 6 piercing damage. Ball killed a good amount of them, preventing them from swarming you entirely. But there's still a number of them all over you, biting into you. That will bring us up to Meli. She's going to go for it. She's going to try to hit a rat off of you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she rolls well. So Meli, without hitting you, slings a icicle over your shoulder, catching a few of the rats along the way. There's now not many rats. Maybe 7 rats are crawling all over you. That will bring us up to the sewer rat, the blue one, on Ezekiel that's beginning to climb up on you and try to bite into you. And that is a 20, I believe, to hit. Dirty 20.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Dealing 3 piercing damage as it bites into your flesh, and a constitution saving throw.
I think I'm already diseased. Is it going to get worse?
No.
Okay.
So it bites into you, and you see this wound too is beginning to fester like the first. And that swarm is dead, so that brings up to Vesper. So you're flying a few feet in the air, 5 or so. You can see swarms on Ellory, Ball, and the snake form of Ezekiel, as well as 2 sewer rats beyond Ezekiel.
Yeah. Gonna help Zeke since he seems the most in danger. So blue, I'm gonna fly up high enough that I can see over him as much as possible.
Okay.
And then, which one is more damage, blue or green?
They both look the same.
Okay.
It's hard to tell. They're gross, disgusting sewer rats.
Okay. I will toll the dead on the blue one then.
Okay.
So
is that
wisdom?
That's a 2.
Yeah, no. And is that, it has been damaged though, right?
Neither one is that damaged.
Okay. So let's do 8s instead. Very bad. 4 psychic damage, or necrotic damage.
Okay. As you see some of the wounds on its flesh begin to split open and begin to fester further.
Versus, and then, no, we can't actually do anything with bonus action. So, cool.
Okay.
That's me.
That's you.
Ba-da-ba.
Okay. So this swarm is actually going to get off of Ball because they're not having a good time. So they're going to instead try to leap onto you, Vesper. I'm going to make him make a check though. They're hopping off of the burning Ball. What was that?
I mean, I'm above Ezekiel though.
Oh, that's right. You flew really high. Okay, they're going to Ezekiel then. Sorry, Ezekiel.
Sorry.
You're being
Can Ezekiel get attack of opportunity there?
Both of y'all would, but I think Ball, you already used your.
I used mine, but I'm wondering if Ezekiel wanted to.
I completely forgot that we were using the rules without it going out of my range. So yeah, actually, I have a 10-foot reach on my bite. I probably should have gotten a few, but I don't really want to bite them anyway. I will try and constrict the swarm.
Yeah. So as the rats
19 to hit?
Yeah. As the rats leave off of Ball, they come to you.
8 bludgeoning damage.
As you quickly slap your tail, crushing a few and then grinding the rest. There's still a few left, they're not many. Make a strength or dex saving throw.
15.
15. They are at 5 or fewer hit points, so they take less. So you would take 10 down to 5 piercing damage, as most of them are wrecked at this point. And that will bring us up to Green Rat here, who, as it's beginning to crawl up, that decapitated head that's floating in the water bumps into it, and it just scurries away and is going to instead not go for the thing that is grinding all the rats to death. So it's going to come down towards you, Ball. He's going to bite at you. That is a natural 20 to hit. It will take some damage from your fire thing.
Yeah, and that'll hit, unfortunately.
You take 12 piercing damage and make a constitution saving throw. As you two...
So that's a 7 for that one, and then I'll do my Shield of Faith con save right now.
Okay.
So that was fine.
Okay. So as it bites into you, the shield remains, but is able to push through, tearing into your foot, finding its way through what armor and boots remain. And as it pulls out, you can feel that wound beginning to fester with disease. And it takes some fire damage. Was it 3 for biting you?
Yes, 3.
Okay. Burns its mouth on the way out, its snout crisp. And I'll bring this up to Amsen. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This swarm has to go. Make one more dex or strength saving throw, Ezekiel, as this other swarm is upon you.
Natural 1.
Okay. And this one... you take 18 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
As these swarms are riding all over you. And that will bring us up to Amsen.
Cool. I don't know. I'm gonna move up a little bit behind Vesper. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna cast a 2nd level magic missile on the swarm on top of Ellory.
Okay.
17.
Yeah, 17.
With arcane precision, these missiles hit the remaining rats off of Ellory, picking them off one by one. As Ellory kind of eyes closed, kind of looks up, one eye looking around, and all the rats that were on your Ellory are gone and dead. Blasted by Amsen.
And then I'll move over this dead rat down close to the southern wall. And does anybody look injured? Ellory?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
I don't need anything right now.
Ezekiel and Ball probably took the most so far.
Ezekiel's an animal, though, so...
Yeah, don't worry about me.
No, that'll be my turn.
Okay. So that will... Ball. So you have this one sewer rat that's pushing up towards you, and you can feel that festering wound, and you feel a sudden nauseousness in your stomach that's hitting you.
I think kind of in that moment when this rat kind of bites into Ball kind of... Especially because it's got this kind of festering disease. Ball will kind of react by just kind of yelling out, and as he does, he's going to use his rune weapon and just kind of breathe fire. But except that when he does so, it goes... Sorry, Ezekiel. It's going to go through Ezekiel and hit the 2 slums above him, including Ezekiel.
It's fine.
Is that 15 feet?
Yeah, it's 15 feet, so I think I should be able to just hit those 2.
Okay.
And Ezekiel, and the damage is 3d6 fire.
What kind of save is that? Dex?
Dex save, yeah.
That is a...
it's a 14 you have to beat.
Yeah, I did not.
First swarm dodges...
It would be 13 fire.
13 fire, okay. So the first swarm, protected partially by Ezekiel, are able to dodge and keep some of their numbers up. The other... swarm takes the brunt of the flames as it burns off. You see the rats. And Ezekiel, you still up? And
I am hanging on to snake form.
Wow. Okay. That's a tough snake.
Yes, it is.
As ball, you roar and the flames burst out, burning to a crisp several rats, and Ezekiel somehow maintaining his form.
And then again, I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to attack this swarm that's on. Is the orange swarm the one that got hit a lot, or not so much?
Yeah, the orange swarm, there's only a few rats that are crawling over Ezekiel on his tail.
Okay, I'm going to try to hit that one anyway. So the only glazed 10 plus 13.
Just hits.
All right, sweet. For 9 slashing plus 10 fire.
Strike and wipe out the last few rats on his tail. So there's now just a number of rats on his head, some of which are burning.
And I'll end the turn just kind of looking at my wound.
And that will bring us up to Ellory, as the rats have been picked off of you, and you can see a few more still on Ezekiel and 2 sewer rats still up.
Okay, so shaking some of these dead rats off of me, I'm going to move forward, and I probably can't see anything past Ezekiel from where I am, right?
Yeah, he's a huge snake. You do see rats crawling all over him, but you can't see anything past him.
So seeing the ones that are crawling over him, I'm going to try and Eldritch Blast some of those off of his head.
Okay.
So one of those beams is a 17, the other one is a 9.
17 hits.
For 6 force damage.
Okay. As you blast A few of the rats fly off. There's still a few remaining upon Ezekiel.
And I think I will end it there.
Okay, Ezekiel, you have a few rats still on you and a large sewer rat by your side. And there's a sudden, even your snake form, burnt and bitten all over, you feel sudden nauseousness. You have this disease and sickness that comes over you, that hits you, and you have disadvantage on checks, attacks, and saves.
Okay. I am going to bonus action drop form. It only has 3 hit points left anyway. And then I'm going to lay on hands and get rid of that disease and just post up next to Ball in front of Vesper if I could.
Yeah. Okay, so you lay on hands and immediately that nauseousness fades and dissipates as you post back up there. And we'll bring us up to... That swarm is dead. To Meli, who's going to run down and try to get an angle icicle in her hand. And that will bring us up to this thing. It's going to rush forward.
I'll use attack of opportunity. Or I'll wait for it to get a step clip. If it does. And then I'll do it. So I'll do the Phoenix Blade. 16 plus 1d4.
Yeah, that hits.
And then it's 6 slashing plus 5 fire.
Okay. You strike into this creature, slamming into its shoulder as it rushes up towards you and Ezekiel. Vesper flying up about 15 feet or so in the air. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
Yay. I'm going to Toll the Dead on blue again, since I got it.
Fails.
Great.
And it is wounded.
Yep. Just focus on that rot that I already gave it. Come on, 9 necrotic.
Okay. You focus on your ability to give life. You also understand how to reverse it and rip it from it. It's still up, but it's looking pretty wounded at this point.
Do I have anything I can do as a bonus action? Not really. I'm gonna just move here and I'm gonna hang out where I am.
Okay. That will bring us up to Green Rat. At this point, Green Rat is going to go for... Green Rat's fine. Green Rat is rabid and ravenous. And it's going to go for... That's a natural 1 as it tries to bite into Ball and is now going to begin to float backwards and get some space. And that will... Actually, the swarm is going to rush up towards Ezekiel. Make a strength or dex saving throw, Ezekiel.
20.
So you take 3 points of piercing damage. There's not very many rats left. And that will bring us up to Amsen.
Okay. As an action, I'll cast Firebolt on the green rat that's in the water. Ooh. Yeah, I'll let it be. That's an 8.
You slam the fire into the surface of the water. It looks like it may have hit it, but it's covered by water. At this point, it's starting to swim away. Anything else for you, Amsen?
I just rolled my portents in chat because I forgot to do that, but other than that, no.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Ellory. Wait, I'm sorry, Ball.
All right.
And Ball, you feel a nauseousness now hit you. And you have disadvantage on checks, saves, and attacks.
Okay. I'm going to attack anyway onto this the blue rat in front of me.
Okay. At disadvantage.
11 plus 24.
That'll hit. Just
all right. So that will be 10 slashing and 5 fire to the blue rat, and then 7 fire to the swarm of rats on Ezekiel.
Okay. You slash into it as the fire jumps over and actually kills that swarm as well. So you slice with the blade, striking into the sewer rat that flips at the force of the strike. And you carry the flames over that leap over to some of the rats on you as that burning to a crisp, leaving just 1 rat remaining.
And as I end my turn, I'll take a step forward and just regain my composure as I look at the festering wound.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so since Ball moved out of the way, I'm just going to cast... I'll just blast one again at the one that's in the water.
Okay,
the last one. So that's a 14 and a 22.
With it.
for a total of 11 force damage.
As you slam with the Eldritch Blast into the water, you knock it beneath the surface. A moment passes before it comes back to its first and is doggy paddling away as quickly as it can. And that will bring us up to Ezekiel. As you see, all the rats have been killed except for one that's trying to escape.
I'll let it go, and I'll just place my hand on Ball and fight through the fire to lay on hands and clear his disease.
Okay.
Is Ezekiel going to get burned, or is he alright?
He's technically touching you. It's only 3 points, but he heals your sewer rot disease.
For the second time, Ball strikes Ezekiel.
So this rat is escaping and is continuing to run away. Vesper, you have a chance as the rat is swimming away.
I would love to take that and toll it.
Okay. 11.
Not gonna do it. And that's 19 necrotic damage.
Yeah, just enough. So Vesper, you're flying above. As you are looking down, you see this rat swimming away, wounds on it from Ball and others, and from Ellory's Eldritch Blast. And as it comes back to the surface, swimming to the other side, you see the wound on its back. And you see it begin to bubble up, fester like hydrogen peroxide. You see almost from the inside out, the wound gets ripped and torn, pulled backwards. And it reminds you of surgery. But instead of opening up to pull an arrow out, you're opening it up for a nefarious purpose. But it slowly paddles and comes to a stop at the other edge of the canal and then slowly begins to drift down. A few moments go by.
Did you say that the water's clean?
Looks mostly clean. It's not sewage.
I think maybe Ball would jump in and try to keep that out of the water.
Okay.
So I don't know if I can catch up to it, but I'd like to kind of jump in.
Yeah, the water's not
out of the
moving
water.
very rapid. So Ball, you can jump in, immediately steam flies up from the heat of your flames in the water. And you can easily grab the body, throw it out. Even that severed head, you can take that and throw it out as well. A few moments go by, no more rats crawl out of any holes. Vesper, you do feel a little shaky.
I'm going to lower myself down.
Okay. You get about 3 feet above and suddenly you fall and land on your feet, catch yourself, and get down in time. And at that, we'll go ahead and take our break now and pick up in just a few minutes.
Next time on Back to the Story.
You can send someone ahead, but they're gonna hear us before long.
They stop after a few feet. Hello?
You seem a bit too stupid to be a risk.
Oh, let me take care of it.
You do see vines, maybe, growing up towards the door and wrapping around some of the hinges. And you all hear within your minds, "This pleases me."
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.